Hi there, I'm Blackbright, and today's video is about that advert. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but it's where a Chinese girl is approached by a black man who's painting her house, and he goes to kiss her and she gives him a detergent pill, puts him in a washing machine, and he comes out like a white Asian. And there's a lot of controversy about it. I mean, it's been going around for quite a while and it's kind of resurfaced again. And the reason I thought I would talk about it is because there's so many dimensions to it. A lot of people are saying it's the most racist ad ever. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. But sometimes we have to try and look at this from all different perspectives. Now, first of all, I'm kind of trying to baffle with the idea of the man approaching her. She didn't seem to be too concerned with him approaching her and getting in close proximity with her because he was in her personal space. But the fact is he was the wrong colour. So by giving him the detergent pill and washing him, the implication or the inference is that he's black, he's dirty and he's smelly, and he needs to be made clean, and he needs to become an Asian in order for her to find him attractive. Now, I don't know if you saw that video where this Chinese guy was in Africa. I can't remember which part. I know it was sub-Saharan Africa. He was doing a business there. And he came out on social media saying he hated Africans, even though he was living there and working there and doing his business there. He hated Africans because they looked like monkeys, they were dirty, smelly, and he just didn't like them. We also have the exhibition where they paralleled monkeys and gorillas with black people. Now, we have to kind of think to ourselves, well, is this because they lack exposure to black people? Because remember, over 30 years ago, it was quite an insular country. They weren't exposed to westernization. I mean, in some parts, I believe in Shanghai, they don't have Google, they don't have social media, so they don't have black people in their face. And therefore, when they see them, they become xenophobic, because they're just not used to it. So there's that sense of fear and distrust. But by and large, I mean, if you go into Singapore, I understand that, you know, they're quite welcoming. You have blacks living in China dating Chinese women and vice versa. Well, I don't know if it's vice versa, but anyway, we've seen it the other way around. And they don't seem to have a problem. So like any part of the world, racism exists and xenophobia exists in all over the world, with people that people don't know, they may not know anything about them, and because they don't know anything about them, they fear them, and then they behave in the way that a lot of people behave when they are racist and when they are fearful of things that they don't know. So I'm going to show you the video with that background.
African man's black color being washed off. China's foreign ministry says the commercial has not affected relations with African governments. CCTV's Rowie Rettenberg reports.
At first, it looks like a harmless flirtation. A Chinese woman washing her clothes, luring in an African worker who's been painting her home. But instead of a kiss, he's given a tablet, laundry detergent, then dunked into a washing machine. Moments later, he emerges Asian. The suggestion, his color has been washed clean. On Monday, Chinese officials tried to distance the government from the controversy and from the potential fallout.
We have maintained incredibly friendly relations with all peoples of different nationalities and different races in this world, as well as all of their countries. We share mutual respect and equal treatment with them. As far as I know, this is an isolated, uncompromising act by a commercial company.
She says no government has yet lodged a complaint and hailed China's, quote, brotherly relations with African countries. In a statement issued over the weekend, Shanghai Leixing Cosmetics expressed, quote, regret that the ad caused controversy, adding, we will not shun responsibility for controversial content. We express our apology for the harm caused to the African people because of the spread of the ad. But some foreigners living in Beijing think it's not enough.
They should apologise much more strongly than that, I think. And I think that's sort of, it's classic of the attitude to race in China today, that no one saw that as a problem before and is still not really giving out a full-on apology. I think that's pretty typical.
I think it might be because that we don't have much history of people, of black people fighting against discrimination here in China, and that's why many people here are lack of the awareness of how sensitive this topic is. But of course, it doesn't mean that Chinese people are against the idea that everyone is equal and should be respected.
Because China uses Chinese media platforms like Youku, which are rarely visited by foreigners, the ad went virtually unknown for months. It wasn't until it was uploaded to YouTube and other platforms, where millions saw it in recent days, that the controversy exploded. The official version released by the cosmetics company has since been removed, but copies continue circulating online of what some have called, quote, the most racist ad in the world. Rowie Rettenberg, CCTV.
Yeah, considered the most racist ad in the world. Do you think it's racist? Do you think it's funny? What are your views on that video? Because the thing is that when you think, I guess it's the motive behind the people. And if you're dealing with people who are insular and who haven't got a clue and who do see black people as dirty, and as, you know, they don't understand that there are different shades of skin. It's not that you wash us and the colour comes off. That's so ignorant and primitive. And I can't believe a country that is so high on technology is so primitive in their thinking. But like I said, you know, it's a very insular, some parts of it is very insular, and it is not a blanket statement. We can't just say all Chinese are racist. I mean, you see people saying that, oh, the Chinese are racist. But to me, Chinese people are business people. And I've said that in earlier videos. They're more business oriented than they are racist. And if they can get a buck out of doing your nails, out of doing anything for you, providing it's worth their investment, they're going to do it regardless of your race and regardless of your colour. So therefore, to me, that is a totally different ball game. I appreciate that in this particular video, they've made a massive mistake and it wasn't clever. And obviously the people who produced that were probably from the rural part of China, or the older segment of China, the ones who have not been westernized and exposed, who need to be educated about what is politically correct and what isn't. And of course the government is stepping in there to correct that. But I mean, apart from that, like I've said, I've heard feedback from black people who visited China. They were stared at because, you know, in certain parts of China, they have never seen a black person. So they've been stared at and, you know, kind of whispered and all that kind of stuff. But once they've got used to them, they've actually seen them as some kind of token or some kind of mascot, or you might not like that feeling. But it is about getting used to a new idea and getting used to, and it's all a part of education and integration, because, and it is because people do not integrate why they fear black people so much. And some of them don't want to integrate, but when you find those who do integrate, it's a much more healthier experience. But we can't force people to like what they don't like. We can't do that. We can try to raise awareness, but some people are so thick-skinned and so set in their ways, nothing you can do will change their minds. I don't know if they were dying and a black person went and saved them, if that might change that individual's mind. I don't know. I don't know what it takes for that integration and that acceptance to take place. But First step is about raising awareness, and I hope I'm working towards that. And that's all for now. Bye-bye.